Hi, Desert Islands fan. My name is Cody Horseman, your Director of Agronomy.
And I'm Ken Alterman, the Chair of the Greens and Grounds Committee. Today, Cody and I want to share with you some information. We want to talk about your experience, and Cody wants to talk about those things that we can do to better maintain the golf course. We'd like to show you some things that you probably haven't seen before that have changed, and at the same time, we want to remind everybody of those things that we can do to affect each other's enjoyment of the golf course. So Cody, why don't you share a few things about how we want to maintain the golf course?
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of differences out there, not only architecturally, but also different breeds of grass on the greens. They're new, they're young, they look beautiful, but we're going to need your help taking care of them, from fixing your ball marks properly to even how you set the flag down. Also, how to rake a bunker properly so the other members can enjoy the bunker at pristine conditions behind you while they play. How to fill your divots on the fairway versus the tee boxes, and go through a whole host of things that are going to be a little different this season versus a normal overseed season coming out of the golf course renovation.
And there are some new things about the golf course that you haven't seen. For instance, we've removed stairs from the bunkers. So as we go into the bunkers, there's a particular location on every bunker where we'd like you to go in and go out. We've done a lot of things with these bunkers in order to make them more playable. The first thing you'll see is that they're all just a little bit smaller. Believe me, we've got plenty of sand. There's no shortage of sand on the golf course. However, we do not have 80-yard bunker shots into the green from a transition, and we think you're going to like that. We think you're going to love the fact that we've grassed all around these bunkers. But it is very important that we enter these bunkers on the low point, and then we rake behind us, and we'll show you how we do that. So without any further ado, do you want to go on the golf course?
Let's go see it.
We're out here on number 3, and one of the principles of our redesign was to open up how these green complexes looked. In order to do that, there was a lot of work both in how we designed the green complex and what we did in opening up the corridor. So on this hole, Cody, what are the things we've done?
Well, one of the big things you'll see here, especially on your line of sight, is we devegetated this entire right side of this hole, so that from the middle of the fairway and even the right rough, you'll be able to see every bunker and the entire green complex. No more blind shots. It's still a long force carry, but we also altered the bunker design up there dramatically. In a little bit, we'll go up by the green and talk about what those changes were and how it affects each type of player. But as you can see, there's a lot of vegetation that has been thinned out, lowered, without disturbing the desert too dramatically, but also so that the golf hole can be enjoyed.
You'll also see a lot of movement in these bunkers. One of the things we're so excited about is that we've given these bunkers waves, and they flash up. And you'll see them on all the holes, that there are virtually no hidden bunkers on the golf course. If you're in a bunker, you're going to know you're in a bunker.
Well, the technical term used by the architect was a whoop-de-doo, so we'll show you the doodads and the whoop-de-doos from our architect, Chad.
Right, we want to keep it technical.
So hard to believe, but we're actually standing where the old bunker used to be in front of 3 green. Just in front of us is where it ended, and you have this long bunker shot that you could have a 25, 30-yard bunker shot, which is a very difficult shot in golf. But one of the changes here is this penalizes that higher handicap player, while the lower handicap player still will challenge those bunkers for force carry. You also see that this particular green has been expanded and opened up in the front, so that higher handicap player can also run the ball up onto the green. You'll see a lot of these changes throughout the golf course to accommodate different levels of players. We still want to challenge the good players, but let those higher handicaps really enjoy the golf course yet.
We'd like to share with you some of the changes we have now on the par 3s. One thing you're going to notice are much, much bigger tee boxes. In fact, we're here on number 7. This tee box is massive. How much bigger would you say this tee box is?
I believe this hole grew by almost 4,000 total square feet of tee box space.
So we've more than doubled the size of the tee box. This tee, we're standing on the white tee right now. In fact, this is the white, the gold, the green, and the red tee. This hole from the white, for instance, will play as short as 120 and as much as 155. Tee box right behind us, the blue tee, black tee, we've moved that up and enlarged that even more. And that could play 160 to 185, 190 from the blue, 180 to 210 from the black. And we'll see when we get up to the green all the changes we made around those bunkers. But Cody, how do we want to handle these tees?
Well, the par 3 tees were overseeded this year. We didn't do any prep to protect the Bermuda grass. So the first thing you'll notice is that the overseed is going to be light and it's going to be very thin. That was done on purpose to protect the Bermuda grass. But divots are going to be an issue throughout the season. So we wanted to be able to repair them and give a nice surface throughout the season. So one thing we're going to do is golf course maintenance will take care of all the divots on the par 3s and hole number 1. There will be no sand seed boxes on the tee or in the carts for use on the par 3 tees. There will only be a sand bottle with no seed in it on your cart. We still encourage you to fill your divots in the fairways, but on the par 3s, golf course maintenance will take care of the practice throughout the season. Now, another thing I wanted to add on top of what you said is, especially on this particular hole, the tee box is twice as wide, which will also give a lot of different variety angles into the green. It'll also spread the wear patterns out so that we can have much healthier grass to play on a consistent basis, which will help both golfers and golf course maintenance.
It's hard to believe how big this tee is until you're up here. One of the things that we're doing, because the tees are so much bigger, is we're putting actual tee markers as you walk up the steps or as you drive to the tee box. You'll see, for whatever tee you're playing, the actual yardage for that day. And please, there is no reason to bring your rangefinder and slow the play down. The number is the number, and it's a good number. So trust the number, hit the shot, and if you come up short, don't say the yardage is wrong. The number is right, okay? Just having some fun here. One other thing. Cody's going to like me for this. Although we're not going to be repairing our divots, it is important to take your tees. So when you hit a shot, don't leave your tee in the ground. Pick it up, put it in your pocket, put it in the cart, put it in the garbage pail, but don't leave it on the tee box. It'll make for a much better look.
I'd also add in there, don't throw them in the desert. That's a lot of cleaning up to do. It can be difficult when there's a jumping cholla there.
Right. And that also goes for cigar butts. You will note on a few of our greens, we've built on the inside these fingers that lead into the green. So you'll actually be on the green and you'll walk into the bunker from the green, no different than you used to on this hole. You'd walk down a ladder. We had a ladder on that corner. We had a ladder on that corner. And we split the difference with this finger. So if you're anywhere on the left side of this hole, this is where you will enter in order to play your bunker shot. And the distance to there or to there, it's really no more than 15 yards because the bunker is smaller. It's still huge, but it is smaller. What we don't want you to do is we don't want you to walk from the back side of that bunker in. So that's the design on this.
Another thing you'll notice specifically on par 3s is a lot of the areas in front of the approaches and par 3s and to the sides where in the past you were used to taking your cart are no longer available. That was one of the design changes from Nicklaus. They wanted to keep that cart traffic on the cart. So this particular hole, number 7, you'll see vegetation all the way around, and we prefer that everybody keep their carts on the cart path to protect that vegetation. This was also done to help frame the hole a little better and to highlight the new changes that have been made.
So here, the ball is down there, and we're going to walk right down the finger, down this slope. Easy to walk in. We're going to hit our shot, and then we're going to repair our bunker. I like that.
All right, Ken, let me stop you there. First thing you did that was right, other than your bunker shot, was you walked in and out at the same spot. We appreciate that. One, it makes breaking them easier. But also you entered at the low point where we want you to enter so that it's easy repairable so that we can make the experience for the golfers behind you the same as what you just were able to experience. So one of the things I want to teach members to do, and all players, enter and exit same spot. One of the first mistakes golfers make is they drop the rake and they pull. The problem with that is it leaves an indentation. We want golfers to put the rake down and push away. By doing so, it helps eliminate any indentations left by the rake itself and work your way back out. Coming up a slope, you can flip the rake over, use the smooth side to re-smooth that slope, rake it out as necessary, and smooth it out. When you're done, we prefer that you leave the rake by the designated entry and exit point so that the next player can also access that rake easily. So the first thing you want to do is come behind the ball mark, insert at a 45-degree angle, and you want to push in. And work your way around from the back side to the front side. And when you get done, it should be a very small ball mark, but give it a little tap with that putter head.
Hey Cody, thanks for repairing my ball mark. I didn't know I could hit a lob wedge that high, but you did a great job. It looks like it never even happened. And this is without question, this is our biggest concern for the golf course, is if we can repair ball marks the way Cody just did, we have a great chance of having an amazing golf course this very first year. But it's going to take all of us to do that. And key takeaways, push into the middle, never lift up. The one prong or a tee, those are best because you just won't yank it or pull it across. You'll just be tapping it forward. But that is a brilliant repair of a ball mark.
Yeah, one key note to take away is if you ever hear anything tearing, roots or leaf tissue, you're doing it wrong. You're actually damaging the plant more, which will make the ball mark bigger and take longer to repair. On average, ball marks grow in and repair, I believe it's almost 40, 50, 60% faster if they're repaired right. So repairing a ball mark is very key. One of the challenges we're going to have this winter with the greens being as young as they are, they're not very mature. There's no padding or mat layer, as we like to call it. So there's going to be a lot of scarring from the ball mark. One of the other issues is we're going into the shortest daylight period of the year, where we're below 12 hours, sometimes even 10 and a half hours, and the temperatures are really low. And bent grass will go slightly into dormancy during those periods. They'll still grow, they'll still look green. They just don't grow and heal themselves as fast as they normally would in the spring or the fall. So that'll be one of the challenges going into the summer, or excuse me, into the spring.
Hey, one of the other cool changes we've made this year are both with our cups and our flag sticks. And Cody's got them both here. The flag stick is a beautiful wood flag stick, very classy. It's got a fiberglass bottom. It's got a wood shaft, and it's got the reflector for your rangefinders up top. There is something important to do with these flag sticks when you take them out of the cup. Would you show us what that is, Cody?
Yeah, one of my pet peeves, but also, once again, keeping the experience great for everybody. Some players have the tendency to drop the flag. We prefer that you don't do that. One, it actually does leave an indentation and can affect a putt. We prefer you just grab the flag and just walk it down and set it down gently.
So it's okay to lay it on the green?
It's okay to lay it on the green, we just don't want you to drop it. And that should be a general practice no matter what flag stick you have, just because of it can leave a little bit of an indentation.
In addition to that, the most expensive part of this flag stick is that prism on top. And if we drop that, we're not only going to damage the green, we're going to probably break the prism. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so the big change is these used to be in the middle of the flag stick. One of the changes we wanted to do is these are reusable. They twist off, and when we get new flag sticks, we just transfer them to the next one.
That's
also, you'll
really
see
cool.
the new redesign of the flag sticks, a little more simpler, a little classic. They're still numbered with the DH. The putting green sticks will also match this flag stick style, and the putting course will also match this exact style.
That's cool. But there's more.
So we're going to a different cup. This is an all zinc cup, and one of the neat things, I never get to hear this, I'm sure you do, Ken, but every time you make a putt, you're going to be able to hear the ting. And we'll switch these tournament style zinc cups year round from here on out.
And I can vouch for the zinc cup. Even if you're not putting well, once it goes in, you think you're putting well. It does have this subliminal effect that makes you feel good.
Yep.
So great idea on that, Cody.
Great.
Hey Cody, we're on the slope on number 9, and I've noticed on a few slopes that we have some different grass happening. Can you explain to us what's going on these spots?
Yeah, so this particular grass you're seeing right here, this clumpiness, is actually old ryegrass. It actually survived the summer underneath the Bermuda grass. It survived our phrase mowing. It survived our herbicide applications to remove it. And one of the reasons it survived because it's on these steep undulations. This has been a little bit of a challenge for us, is getting full removal of this types of grasses, not only the ryegrass, but the poa annua. We're seeing a little bit of the blotchiness, mostly around the green complexes because of the undulations and contouring. It's very difficult for our sprayers to apply the proper rates or even get up and down those undulations safely. However, we've had great success out in the fairways and the roughs because of the phrase mowing and the thatch and debris removal this summer, plus the herbicide and getting the Bermuda grass to a really, really healthy state. Additionally, you'll see behind us, it still looks really green. It's almost Thanksgiving, and the grass is very green yet. We did do a couple of different things going into this non-overseed year. We fertilized very aggressively to get the Bermuda healthy. This will also help it green up very quickly in the springtime. And we've also been pigmenting the fairways and all the short grasses. At this point, I would almost call that the pigment kind of looks similar to an overseed. But what will happen as we get into the colder and shorter days is the dormant rough or the unoverseeded areas will start to go a little off color, specifically in the roughs where we did not pigment. We only pigmented the short grasses. Now, coming back to your original question, Ken, we're going to continue to treat these areas. There's a whole bunch of different tools that we're able to use because we didn't overseed. One of the issues with poa annua is it's very similar to ryegrass and bentgrass. The same products that will remove these plants will also damage our bentgrass. So we have to be very careful. A lot of those products will also solubilize in the soil and can move towards the green. So we've had to be very careful. There are a few products that are much safer to use. We'll use those while play is out on the golf course to make sure we protect our new investment. We've used a little bit more of the aggressive products while we've been closed. But we won't be using those during play to make sure we protect the greens. Great. So we're here on the South Tee, and we've done quite a bit to this South Tee during the golf course renovation. Actually, this was an add-on to the project. We identified some additional funds where we were able to come down to the South Tee here, expand it to the east and to the west, and re-level it. So we probably gained somewhere around 10,000 additional square feet on the South Tee. Additionally, it was regraded and leveled. It does have a little bit of a slope going up the hill since we're hitting uphill into the range. But this was another item that we were able to fit inside the original budget with the project and still remain on time and under budget with the golf course renovation project.
And the net of it is we gain roughly 15 more hitting positions at one time, which is really cool because we all know when we have an event, everyone's waiting, and now the width of this this practice tee it's immense, and it's even bigger than the par 3 tees. But one other thing that we do want to share with you, because we anticipate more range play given that we are going to have fewer tee times available for the immediate future. Given that we will have increased range play, and even though it is larger, there are some really rules of the road when you're at the range. If we look at this as a tee and this is a tee and you're hitting in between, the divot pattern for your shots should be on this line. So you should always place a ball here and then move the ball back a half inch and then move the ball back a half inch. The divot technically is in front of your ball. Now we know that sometimes we hit behind the ball, but we would still encourage you continue that path and work a straight path backwards. And then once you're done with this, we would do another line, and then we would hit right next to it. And the reason for this is that Cody and his team can repair this and it'll look a lot better than a divot here and a divot here and a divot here and a divot here. And we see this a lot on the range, and we figure people just don't know that this is the right way to leave divots when you're practicing. So if we can do that, we're all going to have a better range experience. Here we are on top of the new 10th tee, one of the best views at Desert Highlands. This is a tee I hope everyone comes up and visits once all the stairs are in. It's not safe right now, but in a couple of weeks, this will be a perfect place for taking photographs and so on. We're thrilled the way the golf course has come out, and we hope you will be too. What we'd like to do now is thank a few people for helping us get to this point. We really have to start with the Golf Course Restoration Committee, and that are my partners in crime, Bob Campbell, Steve Yamasaki, and then we had Cody, Desi, and Andy Morris right there. Probably the glue to the whole committee was Joan Sikora. The communication was great on this project because Joan always kept us on task. And she was just amazing in how she was able to consolidate all the work and make it readable for all our members. And we hope you feel well informed. I do have to give a special shout out to my partner here. This guy, we are so fortunate to have had Cody come on this project when he did. His great strength and execution and understanding how the golf course really needs to evolve, and working with the architect and working with the contractors and signing off on the work and working with Nick Gerstner to track every single expense to bring this project in on time and on budget. I can't say enough for the work and the time that Cody has put in. So with that, I know, Cody, you have a few things that you'd like to, some people you'd like to thank.
Yeah, no, thank you to the committee as well. So it was great working with everybody. Big shout out to the golf course maintenance team, Jack Daly, Ryan Williams, Alex Richards, Gio, our mechanic, and the whole team. A lot of early days and a lot of late afternoons in 120-degree heat. But the team did awesome. We really appreciate them. Big shout out to Heritage Links, our contractor who did the bulk of the actual construction of the golf course. Big shout out to Native Resources who did the devegetation throughout the entire project on the course. Also did the revegetation from all the stuff we may have broken while we were building things. And then also to Pro Turf Service who did our phrase mowing, top dressing, aerifying. Great companies to work with. Awesome to work with. They did a great job. Couldn't have done without also Chad Getz from Nicholas Design. He was great to work with. He really understood the needs of the membership, also the needs of the maintenance team. And I really look at that as an opportunity. How do we set the golf course up for long-term success and sustainability? And Chad was great to get to work with, to make sure that we looked at those aspects. How do we continue to build upon Desert Highlands' legacy and continue to grow long-term? So very thankful to be part of that, and to the general membership as a whole, financially, just mentally through the project, the support they gave us, the encouragement they gave us, just to get to where we're at. So big thank you to them. One thing I'd like to add is work's not done. While we have a great product, we're excited to share it with the membership. There is more work to do. There's more polishing. There's more ways we can raise the experience and really make Desert Highlands shine. And as membership gets to play it, we hope to get some feedback from them. Hope to share with the membership how we're going to do that at some point. But we've got some more work to do to really shine it up over the next year yet, going into the overseed in 2026. So looking forward to it. Hope everybody enjoys it. Thank you once again.
Well, we have a great start. And just to reiterate, the next year, this course is going to evolve. Your feedback is critical. We've done a great job in managing the finances of this to the point that we have money for revegetation, we have money to make changes. There's a lot of things that we can do, all the little things that make it that much better. We do want to remind everyone that on Sunday, you get to see the golf course up close and personal with a stroll. And then on Monday, we're going to have a conversation with Chad and understand his influence, what was he thinking, how did we make it an even better championship course, and at the same time, make it more playable and enjoyable for the majority of the members. And I hope you'll see that. So with that, once again, I want to thank Cody,
I want to thank the committee, and I want to thank our membership for really being so supportive of not just the last 7.5 months, but understanding over the next 2 to 3 months what we have to do to continue to make this course great.